Good morning, entrepreneurs. Welcome to show number 155. Happy Friday, August 28th, 2026. I'm your host, Kim White, and I'm joined today by the interview king himself, Adam Rothenberg. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, Kim. I'm so excited to be here with you this morning.
I'm excited you're here with me too.
And for you watching, you are in the right place. If you are an entrepreneur who is just starting your business adventure, or if you are thinking about entrepreneurship or wondering what's it all about, GME is also for business owners looking for ways to up-level their business. No matter where you are on your entrepreneurial or business adventure, GME is the place to be. And one place we love is the land we live in. That is known as Entrepreneur Land. So let's see what adventures we have in store for today.
Welcome to our world, we'll just say. Today's theme is rejections in business. And rejections in business are the no's you receive when a proposal, an offer, idea, or request is not accepted. They're a normal part of selling, pitching, and creating, and usually say more about timing, fit, or priorities of the other person than about your worth or potential. When handled well, rejections become useful feedback that helps you refine your message, improve your offer, and connect with the right people more effectively.
That is very well said, Kim.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. And for all the yeses I have received, I have also had my fair share of no's or not yets. Sometimes, like Kim just mentioned, it is timing because I've had instances where a celebrity I wanted to interview was just too busy. But then after a few months or even a year later, I see another opportunity to feature them and their schedule has an opening. So the interview works out. On the flip side, I've had to say not yet to conducting an interview because sometimes my schedule is too busy. Or, as in the case of my podcast, I have a specific theme for that season, and that particular person doesn't necessarily fit the theme that I'm currently doing. But then they have another project down the line, and either my schedule has opened up or I'm in a different season and I can spotlight them. So
Love that, Adam.
thank you, Kim. So out of my thousands of interview requests, I've only had one person tell me they were not available then, nor will they ever be available for an interview with me in the future. That has been the only definite no, but all the others were not yet. And Kim, I have to say, with all this talk about not yet, I think you have something to share about our upcoming sexy challenge.
Oh, I do. So stay tuned until the end to learn how to turn no's into momentum, actually.
Ooh, I'm very excited for today's challenge, Kim.
Well, speaking of momentum, let's check out the GME Chronicles for this week, which have some stats from our community. We want these to inspire you and give you ideas for what you can do and what you can track in your own business today.
Thank you, Kim and team. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the GME Chronicles. I am Jill Olish, and I've got your community updates. The GME Chronicles is our space to celebrate how we're moving the needle in our businesses. We share these numbers out loud, not to show off, but to show what's possible when we build and grow together. To catch you up, here's what's been happening around the community. Our leaders and creators have been hosting classes, workshops, and gatherings that keep us moving forward in life and business. Take a look at some of the events and activities from this week. Inside My Sexy Business, the community has been buzzing with masterminds, live sessions, and special gatherings to support you as you build a business you actually want to own. Here's a few of the highlights from this week in the My Sexy Business community. On the content front, we saw new releases from our writers and creators, adding more stories, strategies, and support for you to plug into throughout the week. On the live stream front, our community has been showing up with live shows, special events, and new clips, including broadcasts from My Sexy Business on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the My Sexy Business YouTube channel so you never miss an upcoming show or new clips. On the podcast side, head to your favorite podcatcher to listen in to shows hosted by podcasters from the community. You can connect with all of our roving reporters through the GME directory. Just head to mysexybusiness.com/GME and look for the big red button. Check out the amazing total for this week and grand total, all done collectively by this community in just 4 years and counting. We're looking forward to sharing even more updates next week. If you're ready to join in on the fun around here, we invite you to join us at these events, activities, and inside the My Sexy Business community. Back to you in the GME studio.
Cheers.
Oh my goodness, what amazing numbers. And you know, we always do our shout outs at this time, Adam, and I have to say, we do have a sad announcement today, but we also want to celebrate a life well lived. So we hope you take this as a positive shout out.
Yes, it has been a sad few days in the wake of Dolly Parton's passing, and I'm sure you're feeling it too. She was and is an inspiration to so many people, especially entrepreneurs, with her numerous businesses and collaborations. So I think it's fitting that we pay tribute to Dolly by sharing a quote I found online that will help you as an entrepreneur and business owner. And the quote is, "Don't get so busy making a living that you forget to make a life."
Love that quote.
Yes, I had a feeling you would, Kim, because I feel like that messaging ties perfectly into what My Sexy Business and GME is all about, because you created My Sexy Business to help entrepreneurs and business owners build a business that supports their life and does not consume it. So as you continue on your entrepreneurial and business adventure, I hope this sentiment stays at the forefront of your mind.
I hope it does too, Adam, for everybody. And you know, we have another shout out, but I want to just tie this together because Dolly was a huge inspiration to all of us, I think. But I always admired how much she was a good businesswoman. Like, she did lots of collaborations. She did so many amazing things throughout her lifetime, but the amount of stats that she kept, business things that she did, it has always inspired me to do something that I thought maybe I couldn't, or, to go for it, I'll say. So Dolly had a go for it attitude. And I think she was contagious in that. And one of those things was when I started the My Sexy Business podcast, September 3rd, 2018, which seems like a lifetime ago. I feel like that was she can have credit for some of that, because it was her doing things before she was comfortable, and her doing things, that it inspired me way back then, even. And these are some of the cover art for that particular podcast. We did talk about it, I believe, in last week's show. And I want to mention again that this podcast, we did it, and then I had to lay it down for about 3 years, and it's only come back for the last few weeks. And we already are hitting record numbers with it again. So it's proof that if you put something out there that will last, people will still keep finding it, and they'll keep coming to it. So it makes me very excited to give her some credit and to celebrate her life and celebrate the podcast.
Yes, I agree, Kim. And the podcast is so incredible. If you have not listened to it yet, you should go to your favorite podcatcher and search for it and listen to it, because Kim gives some great insights into business on that podcast.
Thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. And speaking of podcasts, Kim, I am very excited for our first roving reporter, who happens to have a binge-worthy podcast as well. But before we get to her podcast, and how's that for a not yet to tie in with today's theme? Let's see what Yvonne Marchese has to say in her Entrepreneurship Later in Life segment about rejection in business.
Thanks, Kim. This is Yvonne Marchese, your resident age agitator, here to talk about later in life entrepreneurship. And yeah, let's talk about rejection, because yuck, that doesn't feel very good. If you're building a business, though, you're going to hear a lot of no's. It comes with the territory. As a photographer, I live this. Someone calls, we have a great conversation, I share my session fees, and then silence. They ghost me. Or I put together a detailed product photography proposal and never hear back. It used to really get to me. Like, what did I say? Was my pricing too high? Was it something else? But here's the reframe that changed everything for me. If every single person said yes after hearing my rates, that would actually be a sign that I'm underpricing myself. A certain number of no's means that you're pricing with confidence. And rejection isn't always a verdict on your value. Sometimes it's just a mismatch in timing, budget, or fit. And sometimes, honestly, you never know why, and you just have to make peace with that. What I've learned is to treat every no as information rather than failure. Adjust it where it makes sense. The right clients are out there. Trust it. Keep showing up for them. That's all for now. Back to you in the GME studio.
I love that from Yvonne, especially because she has a nationwide, approval rate, we'll call it. She goes all over and does all kinds of branding, photography sessions and things. But rejection in business is data. It's not a death sentence.
That is a great way to explain it, to what Yvonne was talking about. I love what she said in her segment, and also feel it's worth repeating, to treat every no as information, and it doesn't measure your value.
So agreed, Adam.
Mm-hmm. And you can get more golden nuggets from Yvonne when you tune into her Late Bloomer Living podcast, where she has amazing conversations with entrepreneurs who are starting businesses in their second or third act of life. You can listen to Late Bloomer Living on your favorite podcatcher. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get notifications as to when new episodes are released.
Binge-worthy and award-winning podcast, y'all. Don't miss out on it.
Yes. Keeping up with all of the podcasts, Kim, you and Jill just had a great conversation on the Buckets and Boomgates podcast with episode 128 that was just released a few days ago on August 25th. And that episode is titled Turning No's into Not Yet, Rejection in Business Without Losing Your Confidence.
I think it's very exciting, Adam, to have this go out into the world. Let me just say that, because rejection is the filter that helps you find the right people faster. And I think when you're looking at it from that direction, you're looking for as many no's as you can find instead of worrying you're not getting all the yeses you want. So
I agree. I think everybody watching should listen to Buckets and Boomgates on your favorite podcatcher. And don't forget to subscribe so you can be notified when new episodes are released.
thank you, Adam.
You're welcome. And another person I feel you should listen to is the freaking fabulous Kat Corchado. The way Kat connects the dots is always on point. So let's see what she has to say today in her Health and Wellness for Entrepreneurs with Rejection Shows Up in Many Ways.
Thanks, Kim. You know, as a health and wellness and movement specialist, and as an entrepreneur in the fitness industry, you know, rejection can show up in many ways. Someone doesn't show up or join your program. A potential client says they're not ready. A workshop has low attendance, or a social media post gets little engagement. And, you know, it's easy to take these moments personally, especially when you're passionate about helping people feel better. But rejection is not a sign that your work lacks value. It simply means that person, opportunity, or timing wasn't the right fit. The same lesson we teach our clients applies to us. Consistency matters more than perfection. One missed workout doesn't determine someone's health, and one rejection doesn't determine the success of your business. So, instead of focusing on the no, focus on the people you are helping. Continue showing up, sharing your expertise, and serving others with confidence. Remember, every person who transforms their health first had to be ready to say yes to themselves. Your role is to keep showing up until the right people are ready to take that step with you. So keep moving forward. Your message matters, and the people who need it are still looking for you. Back to you in the GME studio.
Kat is so brilliant, and she's right. A no usually says more about timing and fit than it will ever say about your potential. A no is not going to impact your potential.
I agree, Kim. I love what Kat said too, that one rejection doesn't determine the success of your business.
Yes.
And you know, another place Kat always shows up for her clients is at the Keep It Moving 11-minute fitness challenge, where Kat shows you the power of an 11-minute workout and how just a small window of exercise can help make you more focused, productive, and feeling good about yourself. You don't need to carve out hours of time, just 11 minutes of focused movement. And you can sign up for Kat's next Keep It Moving 11-minute fitness challenge by going to her website, smallspacepilates.com, and sign up there, and you'll be notified as to when the next challenge is happening. As somebody who has done it, Kim, it's amazing how you feel after 11 minutes.
I love it, Adam, because you're right. It's a great way to get started or get restarted. Sometimes we'll call it fall off the wagon. and Kat's a great one to help us get back up there and keep going. Keep it moving, as she says.
Yes, she does. And someone else who always shows up for her clients is Chief Givologist Donna Bender, who today is sharing golden nuggets about a no is never the end of the story in her surprise and delight marketing segment.
Thanks, Kim. This is Donna Bender coming to you today as a roving reporter for Good Morning Entrepreneurs. Today's surprise and delight marketing segment is why a no is never the end of the story. What surprised me most about rejection is how much good could come from it. The truth is, a no isn't always about you. It's timing, it's priorities you can't see. When I first started my business almost 20 years ago, I thanked every person who met with me, whether they bought something or not, with a small gift, like this one. This is a white pen when everybody was giving out black. It had blue ink, it had perforated holes, it had my logo laser engraved on it. And I gave it in a silver box with a silver bow. So it really stood out. And did you know that 59% of people say elevated design makes a gift feel more valuable? So you know what happened? People called to buy them from me, or they referred someone who could use my products and services. I receive phone calls like this. Donna, someone stole this pen right off my desk. Could you send me another one? Now that's a gift that works. So don't disappear after one no. When you give without strings attached, the people who don't buy from you are often the ones who send the people to you that will. Back to you at the GME studio.
I love it. Donna's proof that every no sharpens your message if you let it.
Yes, she is. And I love what Donna had to say, that a no isn't always about you. It's usually about, as we've discussed, timing. It's the priorities you can't see. And I agree that it typically has something to do with the person on the other end than you.
Mm.
And do you know, Kim, that you could get, well, of course you know, because you're on it with her, but you can get more great tips on how you can build relationships with your clients by watching Donna's quarterly live stream, The Big Show and Tell, where Donna will show you. She provides so much value in these shows that she actually had to schedule an extra show for September, which will be taking place on the last Tuesday of September, September 29th, September 29th, at 12 p.m. Mountain Time, 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you tune into Donna's YouTube channel at Donna Bender Giving for the juicy tips on how you can increase your business by giving.
It's going to be a great show. I am positive. I've seen behind the scenes. So someone else who is great at building relationship is the interview king himself, Adam Rothenberg. Behind every clean yes is a trail of messy no's you don't see. And as Adam mentioned earlier in the show, for all the yeses he has gotten, he has had his fair share of no's when requesting an interview. But someone who said yes to him is disco and dance diva Martha Wash. Let's see what these two have to say about rejection in business in Adam's segment, Entrepreneurs in Entertainment.
Thanks, Kim. It's Adam. And for today's Entrepreneurs in Entertainment segment, I wanted to spotlight my 2010 interview with Grammy-nominated singer Martha Wash, whose hit songs have been on everybody's dance card, including It's Raining Men and Everybody Dance Now. But Martha Wash wasn't always on top. In fact, at the start of her career, Martha faced a lot of rejection in business. I love how Martha opened up to me during our interview to discuss her sage advice that not everyone is going to like what you do. In fact, she talks about how every no doesn't mean there won't be a yes somewhere down the line. She encourages everyone to keep looking for the yeses because they are out there. I hope Martha Wash's lessons inspire you to keep going in your business because sooner or later, the yes you have been waiting for will be knocking on your door. And that is today's Entrepreneurs in Entertainment segment. It's back to you in the GME studio.
I love this interview, Adam, because the entrepreneurs who win are the ones who learn from no instead of hiding from it. Man, that's what this is about when I read this.
Yes. And I feel Martha embodied this statement, Kim. If she didn't, I don't think she would have given her sage advice to keep going. I mean, could you imagine if Martha Wash gave up after some of her rejections? We would have been missing out on so many iconic hit songs.
She's such an amazing icon. And, you can read the rest of Adam's interview with Martha on his entertainment platform, callmeadam.com. You also can read about Martha, which I think is amazing, behind the scenes or behind the curtains, as Adam says, in his book, Behind the Curtain with Adam Rothenberg. How do you like that, Adam?
I love it.
It was very interesting to learn about her and the things that she went through, but also to see your memorabilia with her. I think that's exciting.
It certainly was exciting to put it together and to write about the incredible experiences I had with her.
You can get it on Amazon or you can get it on callmeadam.com, either one, but go get it. You will love the entertainment value from all the stories.
Thank you, Kim. And you can get more great conversations like we're having when you join us at today's Community Conversations Roundtable. These free gatherings take place inside the My Sexy Business community and are open to everyone in the community, where every month we talk about a different topic related to entrepreneurship. All you have to do to participate is to sign up for the My Sexy Business community, which you can do by scanning the QR code at the top of the screen here. And today's conversation, or you can also go to the My Sexy Business website and go to the community page to sign up as well. Today's discussion is going to be led by me. And we are going to start the conversation with the topic of captivating. So the Community Conversations Roundtable will take place at 8 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. Central Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So we hope to see you shortly right after GME.
I think one of the most valuable parts about it, Adam, that makes me so excited is that everyone in the community has a seat at the table. So if you're somewhere that you're not getting a chance to be heard or, join a real conversation, this is the round table to be at because everyone has a seat at the table and can offer what they're thinking.
Yes, I love all the different viewpoints that people bring to these conversations. So we really do hope you'll be able to join us today.
Me too. So you are tuning in to Good Morning Entrepreneurs, show number 155. Today's theme is rejections in business. And we're excited about this topic because we hope we're encouraging and inspiring you that no is not the end. It's only the beginning.
Oh, I love that sentiment, Kim. Every week we get questions from viewers like you who are looking for answers. This week's question is, why do I feel personally rejected when someone doesn't buy what I'm selling?
So I'm going to describe some scenes in my life. I started my first business at 16, and over the years, I have put everything into creating something and so excited, put my heart into it. And then, I got no's and didn't know why. Thought it was just about me personally. But rejection stings when you make it personal, and it serves you when you make it useful. I had to flip a switch. So rejection is what happens when your offer meets the wrong person or the wrong moment. But rejection is proof you're in the arena, not just thinking about it. So if you're taking it personal and it's stinging, I get it. But that's where you can flip it to the research and development part. What is it telling you? Is it wrong timing? Is it wrong people you're talking to? Is it a different way you need to say it to them? So I love the fact we can have this conversation this morning, Adam.
Yes, I agree, Kim. And it's not an easy switch to flip, not in the rejection personally. It's something I have struggled with, but I have also seen the more offers you make, the more rejection becomes just another metric. So I try to use it, especially when I get a no for an interview or a not yet. I just try to see it as it's not me, it is timing, it is or something else that is not personally about me.
I think if you take a minute, like I just want to add this little piece of if you take a minute when you get a no and you really look at the surroundings, not just about, oh, that hurt my feelings, but did I say it in a way that they actually understood it? Because sales is actually about giving information so someone understands they need what you have. So are you giving the right information? Are you giving the right message? Are you giving the right attitude? Because sometimes when we're lacking confidence, we also can sound a little sketchy because we sound like we're not sure of something when really it's we're nervous. We're nervous about something. So take into account those things and keep offering, keep creating, keep asking.
Well, someone else who knows a lot about metrics, Kim, is the findability queen, Denise Millay. So let's see what juicy tips she has in store for us today in her segment, Helping Entrepreneurs Be Findable Online. Rejection in SEO is a hidden opportunity.
Thanks, Kim and team. Rejection in business hurts. But from an SEO perspective, there's actually a hidden opportunity. The deals you don't win, the clients who say no, and the pitches that fall flat often reveal gaps in your messaging. Those gaps can become some of your most powerful content. Here's how. Anytime you lose a deal or you get a no, write down why. Was it price, timing, features, trust, or something else? Next, turn each reason into a helpful piece of content on your site. If people say you're more expensive than others, create a post called Why Our Pricing Looks Different and Who It's For. If they say, I'm not sure this will work for me, write who gets the best results with your whatever and who doesn't. Use the exact phrases you hear in those tough conversations as headings and questions in your content. That's exactly how future buyers will search for answers. Rejection still stings, but it also hands you the next 5 content ideas. And when you publish those honestly and clearly, you build both trust and visibility at the same time. Back to you in the GME studio.
So I love what Denise says. She always makes so much sense. I just want to say she is definitely consider that every rejection is a free focus group on your offer and your message, and follow Denise's advice. That's what we always say. Do what Denise says.
Yes, 100% do what Denise says, because I love what she had to say about the rejection emails you get can be used to help those same people find you when you change them into content for your website. And
great advice.
It is really great advice. And that's just one example of the golden nuggets Denise talks about on her podcast, SEO Day. She takes questions from listeners just like you and answers them during each episode. And what makes Denise's podcast unique is that her episodes are intentionally short so you can implement what she is talking about as you listen along. You can tune in to SEO Day podcast on your favorite podcatcher, and don't forget to subscribe so you get the notification that a new episode has dropped. New episodes are released every Tuesday, which is why Denise always says, make Tuesday your SEO day.
Great episode, short episodes, implement quickly, do it weekly, and your whole entire business can change.
And think of all the things you can check off that you got done. And when you see those check marks, it's a way for you to celebrate your wins. And you could do that every week while you listen to Denise's podcast.
Great call, Adam.
Thank you. And speaking of finding your right fit clients, Jill has truly found her messaging in the ways she can help mamas who are struggling in their postpartum season. So let's see what she has to say today in her segment, Mama Entrepreneurs. The right yes is built on a lot of no's.
Thanks, Kim. The right yes is built on a lot of no's. Every yes in business has a foundation of a bunch of no's, right? And it's something that we are terrified of, rejection, but it's part of the process. It does not mean that it's a sign to stop. It means it's a time for us to get it right, to get feedback, to learn from what we're doing, because a lot of times, no really is just about timing or fit. It's not about our worth. It doesn't mean we are not capable. So when we continue to show up, we continue to refine our messaging, and we continue to try again for those yeses, then we're going to start getting better at it. I like to say the easy comes with practice. So the yes you're waiting for is often on the other side of not giving up. But we have to keep working at it and getting better at what we're sharing and how we're showing up. So what can you continue practicing to move you towards yeses? Back to you in the GME studio.
Jill, it's a great example of when you stop fearing no, you finally give yourself permission to sell. A no today can be a not yet if you keep refining and showing up. And she, to me, is living proof of that, Adam.
100%, Kim. And I love what Jill had to say, speaking of refining, about how a no is just an indication that we need to refine our message or offer.
She's brilliant.
She is. And one place in particular, Jill got her messaging right is her book, Mama Outspoken. Jill openly shares her vulnerable journey with postpartum depression, rage, and anxiety. She wears her heart on her sleeve as she talks about feeling dismissed with what she was going through, and provides great examples of how those close to you can actually help you in a more supportive way. And what makes Jill's book stand out even more is that she includes insight from what her husband Bobby was going through during this time. You can get Jill's book on Amazon or through her website, mamaoutspoken.com.
The book is very timely with some of the headlines in the news right now. And she is extremely open about what happened. So I think that this is not only a great book to read, but it's a great book to gift.
Yes, definitely a great gift for the mom in your life, or soon to be mom in your life. And if you're an entrepreneur or business owner and you aren't watching GME yet and don't know where to get your questions answered, you then have to find a coach or a mentor. Kat has talked about her adventures in finding the right community, but let's see what she has to say today in her segment, Military Minute with Kat Corchado, which is sponsored by her podcast, Sisters in Service. And the topic she is discussing today is coaching and mentoring in entrepreneurship.
For veterans who feel they should figure it out alone, Kat, what would you say about the role of coaching and mentorship in entrepreneurship?
I think that you have to do your homework. I feel that you have to feel comfortable where you are. You've got to try it on, like going into a store and trying on clothes. Like that one doesn't fit. This one fits. I don't like it. This one fits. It's like, too big. Oh, too small. Ooh, this is just right. So I think that everyone in business, regardless of where you are in business, I think there are times when we all need that coach, that mentor, that whatever that is for you, because I think it's crucial. I do.
After 43 years in business, I agree. I still need that too, Kat. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So So amazing.
So amazing. And I love how Kat compared finding the right coach or mentor to try and unclose. It gave me such a clear picture as to what that process is like. And I think it's something that we've all have gone through at some point in our lives.
I think it's amazing, Adam, to like see Kat just grow. She has grown so much. It is an amazing thing for, that I think is amazing how she does things, how she helps other people, how she continues to help other people. Like it's an ongoing thing for her. But very sexy to watch. I'll just say that. She's part of our community. So I want to say that, Adam. She is part of what we're inviting everyone into, which is the My Sexy Business community. We hope that everyone takes us serious about the roundtable that's coming up, after the show today, and that you'll come in and be with Kat, be with all of us, have a conversation, be heard. I think that that's such an important part. Kat has told stories about not being heard at times and how much better it feels when you are heard, and people who get it are, talking to you and hanging out with you so that it doesn't feel so, I think, lonely on this entrepreneurial journey.
Yes, it definitely helps to have people around you who you can ask your questions to and support you. So it is not a lonely journey.
Yeah. And we want to, we want to stay upbeat, but the reality is there is a lot of hard behind the scenes. There is a lot of lonely. There's a lot of things that are confusing, or we've got to figure out something. And one of the things I have struggled with, and part of the reason we built this community, was there were times I felt like I wasn't smart enough to learn whatever it was. I felt like I was the only one who didn't get it. I'd look around and everybody else seemed to be catching on, and I was the only one who didn't understand something. And so I think that having a home for entrepreneurs, which is what this community is, I think is a very vital part of my journey and of, many of the people in the community, their journey to find a place to be accepted, to get, others involved, collaborate, to I could just go on and on, Adam. I'll just stop.
Well, Kim, in addition to the Community Conversations Roundtable, we have another great place in the My Sexy Business community where we have discussions. And that is in, oh, wait a minute. I just lost my place. Oh, I know. And that is with you and Denise. You and Denise have a great place for discussions and to help people with their websites. And that is with Website Royalty Town Hall, which would you like to take it away, Kim?
I think you're Adam. So Website Royalty Town Hall has been a great place for us to be able to share some things. One of the things we're finishing up right now is a weekend in a series. Oh my goodness, in a weekend series. We're really struggling. And it is a place that, we have left a lot of things on YouTube for people to come and be able to start their business, start their website, start what they're trying to do, and to do it in, we'll just call it in a weekend pieces so that you can get started. A lot of people watch the show because they're curious about building a business, and they're not sure that they can do that. So that goes back to the community piece. But if you come in and you can go back and watch the replays for it, we are leaving all kinds of nuggets out there so that you can feel confident. You can do these things and do them bite-sized instead of trying to tackle the entire thing all at once. So that the replays are out there. We are slowing our roll on putting out new town halls, just so everybody knows. But there's lots of in a weekend things that you can do that we've already put out there.
And I think, Kim, how great is it that in a weekend you can have part of your website built or taken care of, and then that's another win that you have for yourself. So you don't have to have all of these wins all at one time. You can do them slowly but surely. And I love that you've had this series that in a weekend, so you can do them, like you say, in bite-sized ways, so it doesn't feel so overwhelming.
I think our world needs more businesses because a business at the end of the day is a solution for someone's problem. So if you think about it, if you equate business with solution, we need more solutions in the world. So we want to encourage anyone who's, toying with the idea of starting a business. Be clear about your solution. Start. Don't wait till this perfect moment. I need the right desk and I need the right day and I need the right things. Start today. If you can help someone and you have a solution, start practicing today. Start selling it today. You don't have to be on socials. You don't have to be out, out and about in a great way. If someone asks you how you did something, share that with them. That's the beginning of a business, y'all. That can be the beginning.
And by you sharing it, that's also, I feel like, the beginning of a way that you could build community with someone, and then you have support for each other.
Very much so, Adam.
We have a lot of places here in the My Sexy Business community where we have discussions and support each other. And one of those places is our next segment, which is Princess Speak. And that is sponsored by the My Sexy Business team and community. So let's see what we're going to be talking about today.
Welcome to Princess Speak, where we translate what the heck does that mean into, ooh, I've got this for entrepreneurs and business owners on the daily. Today's phrase is turning no's into not yets. So turning no's into not yets means treating rejection as temporary and informational instead of final and personal. Instead of seeing a no as the end, you view it as feedback about timing, fit, or readiness. You stay in relationships, you keep serving and adjust your offer, your message, or your timing so that today's no has a real chance to become tomorrow's yeses. Are you practicing for the yeses? I am Kim White, and this was Princess Speak, turning into handled. Keep your words simple, your message clear, and build that business like you mean it. I think it's important to practice for the yeses, and I think a lot of times we fear the no so bad we stop practicing, and that is the opposite of what we need to do in business. Keep practicing, keep going, keep moving. As Kat says again, keep it moving because those yeses will come. Adam, what say you?
I say, Kim, that I used to take all of the no's I would receive very personally. But then I realized that most of these rejections have to do, as we've talked about throughout the whole show, with timing or scheduling, that it actually didn't have anything to do with me personally. It's not that the person didn't want to do an interview with me. It's just that their schedule didn't allow it, or they were only able to take on X amount of interviews at the time. And once I understood that part of the process, it was a lot easier to move forward and to follow up with them down the line.
Adam, I look at you and I think with all of the interviews you've done, what if you had stopped on the, first 100 no's and you just stopped interviewing? We wouldn't have all of these thousands of amazing interviews with celebrities we have now to go and watch or go and listen to or go and read. So thank you for not letting those no's stop you.
You're welcome.
Kat, what say you?
I tend to agree with Adam. I felt the same way. It was taking it personal. When you start a business, it's scary as an entrepreneur. But I think when you have a business, that you're always practicing for the yeses. because I don't know anybody, maybe you guys do, but I don't know anybody that got their first no and said, I quit. They're just not going to do it anymore. So I think we're always practicing to get the yes so that the no's don't feel so bad or so personal.
I love that, like the concept of practicing it takes the pressure off, makes it not so pressurized when you're realizing that, hey, I'm going to practice this. At the end, I'll tell you all a funny story about one way I learned to get over no's, or got over saying no is what I got over. So Denise Millay, what say you?
I'm going to ask everybody to remember that when you first sit down to write something, what do you do after you write it? It's called a first draft. And you go through and you mark it off and you do it different and you think it through. That's what delivering a message to someone is. That's what giving an offer to someone is. And until you have that practice in the draft, it's hard to know how you want to make it better. And so just keep trying to revise things until it feels right and until it succeeds the way you want it to. And just understand it's part of like the natural process of doing this. And we all put so much heavy weight behind yes or no. If we just look at it as maybe yes, and if not, this is the first draft. And we're coming up with the next one. So that's what I think.
Great advice, Denise Millay. Well, I will share how I learned to say no better, because I will say I hate saying no to someone when I know they're trying. And so when someone would call me like a sales call, they would call me, and I got so many of them, I would just usually would, ignore the call or just not listen, because I was afraid I would say yes. And I started taking all the sales calls and started listening to the whole thing before I would say no. And I recognized in myself I need to practice, and I recognized in them they needed to practice. And when they got all pushy and everything, I was very honest with them, and it opened a lot of conversations. I actually, I'll say, scored a client out of listening to a sales pitch of something I didn't need any of it, but I listened and said no, practice my no politely, like not just slamming the phone down or not being ugly. And it was so amazing because they actually were so interested after that. They came in, became a client of mine. So I find it funny that you never know when a no is going on, what will transpire out of that. So don't just, and never be ugly, never burn bridges. If somebody says no and you take it personal and you throw a fit, you may burn a bridge that they will come back to you and be one of your best clients maybe. So I think that's important to consider.
I think that's very well said, Kim. And I think we all, like Kat was saying, we all are practicing for the yeses, but it does help to politely say no when you don't want something, and you never know what that could open up the conversation for.
Very true, Adam.
Well, Kim, do you have a sexy challenge for us this week?
Ooh, I do, Adam. Before we wrap up GME today, I've got a simple challenge for you. Love the drum roll. Say it every time. I can't help it. Here's the thing about rejection in business. It can actually turn into momentum. So today's challenge is about rejection. Rejections are the no's you get when a proposal, an offer, an idea, or a request is not accepted. They're a normal part of selling, pitching, creating. Most of the time, a no is about timing, fit, or priorities. We've already talked about this all throughout the show, not about your worth or your potential. So right now, we're going to turn one rejection into fuel, into real momentum. First, bring to mind one recent no, think about for a second. What no really stung? Was it a pitch that didn't land? Was it a client who didn't renew? An offer someone passed on? Or maybe a message that got ignored? Feel that feeling, y'all. I'm just going to say, hold that specific moment in your mind. Now ask yourself 3 quick questions. 1, what might this no be telling me about the timing? Is it the right timing? 2, what might this no be telling me about the fit? Maybe they're not the right person for this. Was this really my person? And 3, what might this no be telling me about my message or my offer? Pick one useful insight from those questions. Just one, y'all. We all tried to overachieve to just one. Maybe you see a need, maybe you see you need a clearer promise, a tighter audience, a simpler price point, or a better follow-up. Now turn that insight into a simple adjustment. Today, I will test and then name one small change you can make. So this doesn't always land with everybody. Everybody's like, oh, no, that's too simple. Try it. I'm just going to say try it. In your message, what change can you make? Your offer, what change can you make? Or your follow-up, are you even following up? A lot of times we're dropping the ball because we're not following up. So to lock it in, say this: rejection is feedback, not a verdict. I use my no's to make my next offer stronger. Your challenge before the day ends, not next week, y'all, today. Apply that one adjustment to a real message or offer and send it out. Go turn your no's into momentum. If you guys are sitting back on this and not doing this challenge, you are seriously missing out on great business momentum. So go do it, y'all. We're so glad you were on this adventure with us. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You never know what you're going to get with it, but you will get more of GME. We'll see you next Friday on GME. Love y'all. Join us next Friday at 7 a.m. Central.
This is the team signing off for Good Morning Entrepreneurs.